The last year or so, we've been spending a lot of time thinking about privacy. We really had privacy settings that were a bit outdated.
What are the latest stats?
In Australia, we're more than 8 million active users.
So it's been a very, very quick and fast and furious 14 months for Facebook opening its offices in Australia. You've had massive growth and even a bit of controversy. We might start with the controversy bit first and just get your view. What's your take on some of the stuff that's been happening in and around Facebook on privacy?
The last year or so, we've been spending a lot of time thinking about privacy and making sure that we really think about it in the right way and what's next for our users and for our marketers. A lot of the issues actually that came out here actually occurred before we came out with our May release of our new privacy settings. So that was a little bit different. But what we did is we listened to our users and responded with a simpler way to manage your information on Facebook. We really had privacy settings that were a bit outdated, and there were too many controls to do what people wanted to do very simply. So the message was clear to us that they wanted a simpler way to manage that, and so that's what we created.
Okay. And are you surprised by some of the media attention that's gone to it? Is it a little overcooked, do you think, or is it what you'd expect?
I'd say that when you talk about privacy or user data, it's obviously going to be really, really important to users as well as to the media, and especially for marketers. So, yeah, I'd say it's probably a right amount for that type of subject.
If we look at the massive growth that we've seen, even Facebook globally, but even in Australia, you would have to say that some of those issues that have been floating around haven't had an impact at all on the interest of what people are doing and wanting to use Facebook. What are the latest stats? What are we seeing in Australia in terms of user numbers and usage?
Yeah, so just to address it globally, we've just passed through 500 million active users globally, which is a really exciting time for us in the company. In Australia, we're more than 8 million active users using the site on a regular basis. And of that number, we have more than 50% of our users logging into the site every single day. So Australians are leading the way in time spent versus any other country in the world.
So number one, you're saying?
Number one,
right.
Yeah, in time spent. Nielsen came out with a report that showed that Australians are spending, on average, 7 hours per month on the site versus a global average of around 5.5 hours.
And why is that so? What is your theory?
Well, a lot of industry experts claim that geography plays a pretty big role in that. Australians are naturally early adopters to technology, and so they've really taken a hold of this stuff. One of the other things that experts are saying is that this is a pretty big expat community, and so you've got a lot of people that are now easily able to connect with people around the world.
Next week on AdNews Influencers.
Around the web, people are discovering content outside of Facebook and distributing that through newsfeed, and so users are finding out more about news, entertainment, sports on Facebook than they did a year ago.